Welcome to my country. Not bad, huh? I'm Tony Lees. This is the Gun Waterhole. This is the traditional lands of the Wongabon, Wiradjuri and Walewan people, and it's time to do something about them. Okay, we've been on this waterhole forever. There's not a lot I can tell you about the actual waterhole itself. It's more about the lack of water that we do get. We have times of drought that we think are artificially made as far as the waterhole goes. The full story will come out eventually, I hope, but we need to make people aware that there are issues that we can control now and we're just not doing it. So this is where I used to come as a kid. My home's just across the railway line and down the street a bit. Pop used to bring us over yabbying, collecting mushrooms. It was, when you were a kid, it was, I don't know, your only real recreation. We had a town swimming pool, but of course it only got used when you had to. You came over here and swam. There used to be a jetty down there that you'd jump off so long as your parents didn't find out, and a rope swing. It's been there forever. We tended to, well, the waterhole in my experience never went dry until recently. So the Gun waterholes connected through the Trangie Cow back to Rocky Point where the breakout was. Every time we had a high flow, we would experience flows into the Gun waterhole. We used to experience flows into the waterhole. Irrigation and illegal works, possibly, have meant that that's no longer the case. So basically, there's an irrigated property just to the east of us. They've built a dam and channel structures that means the water no longer comes through to the Trangie Cow. We have made several requests for information regarding that. No one really wants to know about it. Apparently the approval was gained. No one can tell us who approved it. The next step is always, well, you need to access that information under the Freedom of Information Act, which of course is, it means you have to pay. You don't know how much you have to pay. They don't tell you up front. If it's an extensive search, then it's quite a high out-of-pocket expense. But we would like to know, firstly, who approved it, how it was approved, and what process they went through to approve it. I mean, if you could honestly come out here and see this and the effect that it has on the users downstream, all the water holes, all the little dams, the properties, everyone shared the water. Now they don't get to. So that's important to us. It's an important cultural place. My uncle was born over there. My father owned actually a block of land just over there. So it was important to the Aboriginal community. It was a gathering place. Way back in the old days, it was the camp. This is where we lived. So we have a real connection to the land that we don't get to exercise fully anymore. Our disconnection is in part because of the lack of water. When it's dry, no one wants to be here, and that's, well, I can't say regularly, but the lack of water in the cow generally, apart from a good year like the last one we've had, is pretty disappointing. So we know why the water doesn't come through. We don't know why at least some water's not allowed to come through. It can't be legal to withhold someone else's water. So our inquiries to date have hit a brick wall. We'd like to move on from where we are. We'd like the cooperation of Water New South Wales and DPIE in getting that information to see if it conformed. We know that the floodplain harvesting regulations are wrong. They're illegal, but they're morally wrong. No one wants to do anything about it. I can't understand it. So I guess the next step for us is to go down the path of trying to find out if all the environmental boxes were ticked when the water was taken away. I don't know if there's much we can do about it, but we've got to try. I think not only myself but the people that are going to follow me deserve to have some area of recreation close to town that's got water in it, and not just a dry and a very depressing place at times. So I don't know if there's frustration. I don't know where to go next. I would like to think that someone cared, but you don't get much information. We haven't exhausted all our options, but we're rapidly running out of them. And it's a case of, do you really want to have to give up something like that? No, I don't. Do I want to fight for it? I don't think I should have to. But unfortunately, it looks like we do.